Regulars on this channel will have already received the heads up over the Winnie Odinga controversy, because we talked about it here, right here on this channel, a long time ago. But then now, the characters in this drama have started to show their faces very clearly. And this is spilling over clearly into the leadership of ODM, Baba's party, and especially the future of this, the most influential political party in the country. And indeed, this crisis within ODM is escalating. Moments before I came in to make this recording, I saw a news item where the leadership of Oburu Odinga of the party is being challenged. And what some very influential members in the party are calling for is an emergency national delegates conference to sort out this leadership problem within the ODM party. Welcome to my super fascinating show today, where we dig very deep, because you can see the headlines and you can get shocked at the headlines. But then to me, the most important thing is understanding the inside story, and then the headlines make perfect sense. Karibuni sana, and please make sure you enjoy. Twende kazi. You know, I continue to appreciate my late political lecturer, my dad, for what he taught me and what he drummed into me. Now, I have to confess, at the time, these political lectures of his did not look very serious. But today, one of the textbooks he used and always referred to, and actually for years and decades it never made any sense to me, today that particular book has exploded into the center of understanding this Winnie Odinga and Raila Odinga family feud that is now at the center stage and dominating our politics, and signs are that it will continue to do so for some time to come. For the sake of newer subscribers to this channel, there were 3 books he used: Julius Caesar, the play by William Shakespeare; best-selling novel The Godfather by Mario Puzo; and Tom Mboya, The Man Kenya Wanted to Forget by Professor David Goldsworthy from Australia. William Shakespeare's play made perfect sense. It was very political. The book on Mboya too, it was all politics. But then this bestseller called The Godfather was a puzzle, and remained a puzzle for many, many years. But slowly over the years, it has started to have some connection to politics, and especially human nature. But then today, it is exploding in this analysis, and I will tell you how. Now, in the novel The Godfather, Don Corleone had a son, his firstborn son, called Sonny, who had a serious temper and made most of his decisions emotionally, and he was careless. And indeed, his tragic end was very predictable. And then he had another son, his youngest son, called Michael, who had served in the US military and initially wanted nothing to do with the family business. Or is it the family criminal syndicate? Michael was quiet, calculating, thoughtful, easy to ignore, and brush aside. But to cut to the chase, is the one who took over his dad's mantle. There is one very memorable scene where father and son are talking, and the Godfather, Don Corleone, is giving instructions to his son, who has already taken over. And the conversation goes something like this: keep a very close eye on so-and-so. He is the one who will make the first move. In other words, he was preparing him for what is coming, based on his long experience, and also based on his knowledge on human nature and the characters surrounding this family enterprise. And the old man kept on repeating over and over again, never let anybody outside the family know what you're thinking. Now, fast forward to the present. I can imagine the following conversation, and I'm very convinced that there's a very high likelihood that this conversation actually took place. Watch my brother Oburu Odinga very carefully. Watch the vipers and the snakes within the ODM party who rely on my name Raila Odinga to win political seats. They can be very dangerous when they're cornered, etc., etc. That conversation, or something along those lines, definitely took place. Why am I so sure? Because of the chain of events that have unfolded, to the utter surprise of many Kenyans, over the last few days. I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean, immediately after this very brief message from our sponsors for today's show, which is a quarter acre in Murang'a, actually very close to Thika town, only 700 meters from the Thika superhighway. For those familiar with this area, it is right behind Murang'a Teachers College, and it is all tarmac to this very prime plot. The asking price is only Kenya shillings 3.6 million, negotiable. And by the way, this piece of property has roads on 3 sides of it, which immediately tells you that there are many advantages for anybody who gets this plot and wants to do some development. There are many options that would do very well. And there's already a house on the property with all the facilities, tap water, borehole water, electricity, kila kitu iko tayari, which of course will make it very easy to do many things very quickly in the development of this property. You can use the number you see on your screens right now and call John on 0713-028-539. I recommend that you call him right away for more details to avoid any possible disappointment. Right. And let me start with a question. Many people have come out and told us, they dreamt Raila told them to stay in the broad-based government, or they're the last people to speak to the late Raila, and Raila told them 1, 2, 3. There are so many fake stories which have come out of the woodwork. But the truth is, who is the one person most likely to be very much aware of Raila's parting words? Winnie Odinga, of course. She was always at the side of Raila. She was there when he passed on. Now there's something we need to understand. And I was telling somebody yesterday that most family meetings is like entering a hole full of poisonous snakes. And this is very true. Every family has many issues which mostly remain under the surface. But when something major happens, there is even something called sibling rivalry that remains until the end of people's lives. Okay? It doesn't matter how old they get. Now, bearing that in mind, let us now proceed, because we will all understand a lot better. And so Winnie Odinga comes out and speaks. And clearly she's against the party remaining in the broad-based government and not fielding a candidate in the 2027 presidential elections. That becomes very clear when she speaks. But something else very fascinating comes out of all this drama. It becomes very clear that Winnie Odinga is much more politically aware of the environment, etc., etc., than the current acting party leader. Okay? She knows her way around the politics of the moment more than most of the members of ODM, which should not be surprising, which did not surprise me at all. Baba has been mentoring her very, very closely. Now, if you've taken in my latest special report, you will know that Raila Odinga made some very elaborate preparations towards the end. Yeah, he knew his life was coming to an end. Okay, I know that is controversial, but it is explained in full detail with evidence in the special report. And so, I'm about to make a very shocking statement. At least it will be very shocking to most of us. It would appear that Raila had a plan to save the ODM party after his departure. Yeah. And it would seem that this is the plan that has now started, okay, led by Winnie Odinga, with very close assistance, advice, help, etc., etc., from, wait for this one, Ida Odinga, widow of Raila Amolo Odinga. I don't know if you've noticed how cool Winnie Odinga is. She's so relaxed. It's as if she knows, she has already been briefed, that what is going to follow are chaos. You know, when you're expecting chaos, you remain cool, you remain calm and collected, because you have a route through the chaos. You know that the chaos will be there, they must be there, but then you know there is a way out, and your way out of the chaos is the plan. Friends, that is the shocking thing unfolding in Kenyan politics as we speak. It is also clear that a lot of politicians within the ODM party have no idea what is going on, and in fact are very busy plotting and scheming their next move. Some of them were very greedy, giving the impression that they are working on their retirement package. They plan to earn a lot of money for handing over the ODM party to President William Samoei Ruto to serve him and to serve his interests. Okay? And they have no idea what's happening. You know, there are some very powerful people within the ODM party, extremely powerful within the party, but they have no grassroots following. All these years, they have been surviving by waiting for Baba to say so and so Tosha, and then they easily win the ODM nomination and they easily win the election. Those people are still there and they're very powerful. And now these people are up against the real supporters, the real followers of Baba. Who do you think is going to win this battle? In my humble opinion, it is still too close to call. Why? Because these people who have no power have a very powerful backing from State House. So it will be these people with their powerful backing from State House against the people, and the leaders speaking on behalf of the people. Plus, of course, Raila's careful political calculations, handed over to Winnie Odinga. Well, one thing I can tell you, I'm very sure about, this is going to be very interesting. This is not going to be boring. It is going to be super interesting with lots of drama, which actually, when I think about it, is not breaking news, because already the ODM 20th anniversary celebrations in Mombasa were full of too much drama, including that viral clip where Oburu Odinga spits out the cake that he has just eaten, and then also forks are exchanged. For what? Hey! In my humble opinion, and with the limited information I have, I'm still chasing. But at the moment, I still have very limited information. With that limited information, I can confidently say you cannot escape from that clip showing us that actually the ODM top brass does not trust President Ruto. Because if you're diabetic and you don't eat sugary things, do you realize this when the cake is already in your mouth? Huh? Hey! And as we said in an earlier video, Oburu Odinga is in trouble. He's swimming in waters which are too deep for him. He has no idea. That is really what this is. Now, I want to share some very sensitive information with you. I have really debated on whether to do this or not, and finally I've made the decision to share it with you. But you'll still excuse me if I don't tell you too much. But hopefully, I will tell you enough. Now on your screens right now, you will see the words in a message I received over the last few hours. And it is from somebody who knows what they're talking about. Now, clearly, they are referring to the contents of my highly sensitive special report. Now, I read this message several times, trying to take it all in. Hey! But what I can say is that in case you still haven't seen that special report, I highly recommend that you do. Especially because you can now get it for only Kenya shillings 2,999. You can see details on your screens right now. This offer can end at any time. So please take full advantage. Use the usual number, M-Pesa, and please text me your email address immediately after payment, or even send me an email with evidence of payment, so that I act quickly and you get this report quickly. Okay, so that you can get into this information that seems to have rattled at least some quarters. Okay? Another option, a better one actually, is to take a full year golden key, which gives you access to everything Kumekucha. You can see details on your screens right now. For only Kenya shillings 5,999, you will never need to worry about paying for special report, past, present or future, anything Kumekucha. Whatever the price will be yours for a full year. Okay? And of course, if you're a Kumekucha veteran, you've been around for a long time, and if you've been a follower of Kumekucha for a prolonged period, maybe you're a member of my WAB, or perhaps you've purchased special reports in the past, then you will have the privilege of having a permanent golden key. Not annual, not 2 years, forever. Okay, you can see details of that on your screens right now. For only Kenya shilling 6,555, you'll have a permanent golden key. All the instructions are in the details you can see right in front of you. Please take quick advantage of this, because again, all these offers are ending very, very soon. So please move with speed if you're in a position to. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.